And it's not showing my game. It's showing my game. We're live, everyone.
Yeah, showing your game now.
Hello. Hello and welcome to Eorzea Photography stream. Hi, Neon.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
Yippee.
I'm not doing that.
No?
That sounds awful.
Can we get out of the water?
Water is not gonna kill you guys. I'm just saying.
Hey.
It's about to rain here, so.
Yes, so my name is Red, and I'm here today with the Eorzea Photography community on Twitch to tell you all about the photo mode in Final Fantasy that is called GPOSE. And with me, I have Nyan with my partner in crime.
We'll go with that.
Who else is in here with us?
Oh, hi, Soraya. Serious, you may.
Hello, I'm Sammy.
Hi, Semi. Hi, Soraya.
Hi.
Alright, so we are here in... What is this place? The Peaks? The Fringe?
The fringes.
The Fringes. And we was hoping to have a nice sunny weather, but it seems that it's cloudy right now, which is not so bad, actually.
But you see, that's actually also just something with GPOSE. The minute you decide you have a specific location you want to take a picture in, it will always be rainy or stormy when you go to take the picture.
Exactly, that's a fact.
Every time. It never fails.
Even in places that it never rains, the minute you decide, hey, I'm going to go take a picture in Linsa, that is the day that it will immediately start raining when you open GPOSE.
Alright, let me
I
adjust.
guess I must have been just lucky with my pictures, son.
Honestly, like I have to hang out. I have to literally go hang out in the area that I want to go, and then whenever the weather pattern changes, then I'm like, yay! And then it's going in and finding like the right time of day or lighting. Like for me, housing is like one of the worst places to take pictures. Just because you always try to get like the right light and the right angle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so Nyan, you like GPOSE, don't you?
Yes.
You use it a lot, don't you?
Very much. I use it at least once a day.
Cool. And how do you access this? What's your favorite way to access GPOSE?
Well, since I play on controller and my hotbar space is very limited because every button is precious, I just go through the general start menu. So I'll go to
like this.
Yeah, through I guess on PlayStation controller it's options. I'm not sure what the one is on keyboard.
I'm on the controller as well, just so you know.
I do /G post in chat.
Alright.
Oh yeah, that's actually the easier way to do it.
So /GPOSE.
Yeah.
Like so. It works. Here we are. This is GPOSE. And our reactions are super appropriate for this moment.
Oh my
I'm trying to smack your head.
That is true, yeah.
Let me maybe.
Here.
Okay. So yes, this is GPOSE. This is how you access it. You can go and type /GPOSE in the chat menu. There's another way to access it as well, which is through the actions if you go into, wait, was it extra? And there it is, group pose.
Mm.
Yeah, you can just start it from there, or you can assign it to, let's say, one of your bars. Either like assign it somewhere in here, I guess. I already have it over here, so I can just use it like this. Boink, and it opens. And when you enter GPOSE, it's going to remember whatever was your last action in game, whether it is combat actions or emotes. It's just gonna apply these actions to your characters and your friends' characters or whoever's in your party. You're gonna see them doing whatever is the last action they were doing, which is what you're seeing on screen.
And fun fact with that, if you ever want to reset your pose, all you got to do is sit and stand back up to reset the pose.
Oh, cool! Let's do that.
Before you go into G pose.
Let's try it. Sit. Boink.
Best sit in the game.
Yeah, just literally sit and stand back up.
Yeah, you don't have to like finish the whole sitting. You can just start sitting and jumping. And if I go into G pose from there, here we are. We're all set. Nice. So yeah, GPOSE is like the main tool to take screenshots. And it's very, very elaborate. It has a lot of functions compared to like maybe some photo modes from other games if you ever tried some. GPOSE has a lot of functions. A lot of very interesting things. So, like, as you can see, there's a lot of submenus over here on the side, and each of them have, you know, different controls. You got, you know, your sort of camera position stuff over here. You got some effects for frames. You got some lighting that you can do. You got some controls over, like, your movements or animations of your character that you can see. Lots of options in here. You have some sort of visibility filter that you can do, you know, for hiding certain things, or, you know, you have control over that for with some presets over here. Or you can go and just, you know, we'll cover that a bit later. There's some ways to save and load your camera and your lighting, so that if you find something that you're very comfortable with your camera settings, you can save it and then reload it later. If you leave GPOSE and come back, it'll remember what was your last thing you saved. And one interesting thing, if I remember, is this. I'm going to use my mouse sometimes, not just the controller. But there's a button over here, toggle control guide on off, which is going to show you what are the main control that you can use inside GPOSE. Whether you're using the controller or like the keyboard, you're gonna see what are your options in here. And these are the controls that are kind of always there. You can see, like, I can control the camera with here, like so. And these are the kind of controls that are listed over here. Now, with a bit of an introduction over here. So I guess we're gonna start with camera settings, because that's kind of the most interesting or important thing when you want to take some pictures. And by the way, if you want to take pictures, like on console, there's like a specific button on your controller usually for taking screenshots. Like on the PS4, it's the share button, I believe. On PC, it's you have the print screen button that you can use. Or also you might have some other like applications specific for taking screenshots which would have their own sort of screenshot button. It depends on what you're using. But usually it's print screen on the PC, or yeah, share on the PS4. And so let's start with the camera tab over here, general settings. So here, actually, you can control a lot of things like this is like a zoom effect that you can control over here, and you can see you can get pretty close to your character. Just zooming the camera is like 200%. You can also use some presets to go like really fast from one setting to the other, like so. And you got similar controls for the angle of your camera over here. You can use the slider like this, and it can go like all the way inverted, which can be like a strain for your neck if you're trying to take vertical pictures, so you get used to it. And of course you... Oh yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Sorry. I just wanted to point out with the camera zoom, if you, like, you can still zoom in as you normally would in game, and then use that zoom tool to zoom in even more if you wanted to get like close-up portraits and stuff.
Yes, there's a difference between the distance of the camera, like I'm doing here. This is actually moving your camera forward and backward. And then the zoom value is something different. Like you can be close to your character and really zoomed in, right? Or you can be like far to your character and really zoomed out as well. And you can see it has a bit of a really big difference on the display of the camera. Like you can see if I'm going in, there's a bit of a distortion on the camera like this. Like it's quite different if you're zooming or just moving the camera. Yeah, I mean, I suggest you play around with those. It's like the best way to learn and get a feel of what it does. Also, since this is happening right now, the camera will collide onto things, especially on the floor. So right now my camera is being blocked by the floor. It's why when I'm moving down like this, you can see it's probably going to go like boop, pop like this, because the floor is pushing on the camera itself. And of course you can control all of this with your mouse cursor, which some people like to do more even if they're on PC. If you're on PC and you're using your controller, you can still use the mouse on this stuff.
I wanted to also point out, if you hit the control button if you're on PC, if you hit the control button and you use the up and down arrows, you can also move your camera that way as well.
Like a tilt like this.
Yeah, like it tilts up and down.
It's very nice. This is pretty much the same way that you control the camera, like even when you're not in GPOSE, if I remember. All right. This is probably like the first thing you're gonna play with if you enter in GPOSE. I'm gonna actually look at the top icons before we move on. The one over here, it's the face camera, which now I'm turning off and I'm turning on. So you can see, like, at the moment that I turned on this option, the characters were, you know, they face towards the camera, and then they keep that facing at the moment you turn it on. And if you turn it off, they just use whatever facing they were using before you started GPOSE. They revert to that whenever it's off. Over here we have, and this, by the way, you can on the gamepad you can use the Y button. It's gonna do exactly the same with the Y button. Next we have the disable enable camera lighting 1. You can have up to 3 camera lights, but this is just sort of the main one being number 1 is a button where you can control where you put the lights, and the light is always going to be placed where your camera is currently positioned at the moment you turn it on. So if I move the camera away, the light is not going to move. If I turn it off and turn it on, now it's behind my characters over here. This function over here is disable enable all motions. You can see right now the characters, they're like, they have their idle animation, and you can basically freeze them wherever they are in their current motion. And also it freezes other functions, like the face camera is not gonna work while your characters are frozen. But if you like turn it off and then unfreeze them, you have to play with it again for it to update. And so you can see this thing over here, this button, it's gonna freeze or unfreeze all your characters. Like whoever's in your party or whoever are your friends in GPOSE, it's gonna freeze all of them. And if you use the next one, enable or disable enable target motion, it's gonna do it only on the character that you're currently targeting, which is usually the one that the camera is pivoting around, like so. And if you're on PC, you can just click on another character and then they're going to be targeted. Or you can use the left and right buttons on the controller to select characters like that. And you can, oh, even even the minions can be selected. And you can see the camera is always going to rotate around whoever is your current target. And when you have someone who's your current target, that's where you can go and do this over here, like freeze them. Oh. And then you can change to another target. And then freeze or unfreeze them. Like so. Next thing is the stop time weather. So you can see right now there's a very interesting weather going on. It's the lightning or the thunder weather. And what this does, yeah, it's quite nice. What this does, and it's turned on by default whenever you enter GPOSE, this thing is gonna be on. And it's gonna stop the passage of, not really the passage of time in terms of the game or whatever, but it's just gonna freeze which weather you're at currently, and it's gonna freeze also the time of day that you're at. So if I remove that, you can see the time of day, how it has changed since we entered GPOSE. So now it's probably a bit later in the afternoon, I think. The sun position has updated, and maybe the weather as well would have updated, but it stayed the same in this situation. This works generally when you're outside, like in the overworld, whenever you're exploring the world. Sometimes it may not work in certain dungeons, for example, where the weather might be like controlled by the dungeon itself. You might not be able to change the weather or the daytime. You can see the clouds have moved a bit. The next function, and we might not really see it. Actually, I'm gonna exit GPOSE for a bit. Also, whenever you want to exit GPOSE, you gotta have this pop-up that just confirms to you if you want to exit, which is very practical actually. So you don't exit by accident. So yes, we're here, and I'm gonna do a battle move. Let's say, hoo-yah! Want to try something, Diane?
Oh, me?
Yeah. Try, I don't know, an ability maybe?
Let me figure out which one bars button.
Oh, maybe that'll work. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna go back into GPOSE. Actually, let me just do that. Oop. Right, so this function is gonna turn off whatever battle effect you have going. So I just turn it off. And there, you see, they're gone. If I turn it back on, the next time they do their action, the effects are gonna be back. And if you freeze your character, you can see the effects are also frozen. Battle effects are only visible when your camera is not moving. So as soon as I'm moving the camera, they disappear for a bit, and then you stop, and then they reappear. Which can be useful, actually. So we're turning this back off. There we go. And this is gonna affect strictly like the particles and all the shiny things that happen associated with battle moves or combat moves. Like you see like things that are in the background, like fires and lightnings and stuff like that. This is still gonna be there. This I showed earlier, it's just to show the guide of all the controls and whatnot you can do in GPOSE. The last two over here are buttons to reset reset like all your lights and oh, is that what it is? Reset limb darkening? I think this is to reset this function actually, which we're gonna cover later. There we go, that's what it does. And this one is resetting camera angle to what you had at the beginning, so all your camera settings in terms of like offset or like zoom and tilt like this is gonna reset back all of these values. It's not gonna change so much your angle, but any sort of offset that you did through the GPOSE menu, that's gonna reset all of that stuff. Okay. Guess we covered that part, so I'm gonna get back to the general settings. We saw both of these things already. That's nice. Alright, sorry. Oops. See? I knew I was gonna do this. Alright. So, you got a nice option over here that is the manual brightness adjustment. You turn this on and you're gonna have control over like the brightness, the general brightness of the screen. Depending on what kind of environment you're in, if you're taking pictures at night or in daytime, or like if you're in a cave or something, this can help get a better picture. But you need to, turn it on and then play with it to see the actual brightness. If you turn that back off, you're gonna lose the effect of the value over here. Next we have a really nice feature that's the favorite of a lot of people. It's the color filter. Over here. So this is a drop-down menu. Like if you use your controller, you can just click on it and it's gonna give you like all the options you can scroll through. And you can see it produces different effects on the colors. You can do some black and white shots like this, or sepia like this. There's quite a lot of them. I think there's what, 25 of them?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, or you can use the controller to just go like that. Not the controller, but the mouse cursor. You can also just do like next or previous one like this. I actually like to do this just for comparison. Just try them all. It's a lot of fun. It's especially useful, yeah, just to experiment, and depending on what kind of weather or light environment you're in, some of them will have some really interesting effect. I'm not gonna go over all of them and explain exactly what they do, but it's best to just go ahead and try them and see what fits best with your whatever search situation you're in. Next we have the screen effects, and compared to color filters, these are like a sort of a texture effect that is applied. I don't know if you see it well this way. Let me get one that is very obvious. Yeah, this is interesting. And you can see it sort of covers the screen with sort of a... This one's called watercolor. You got some line works like this as well. Like, if you're like, oh no. Action! Speed lines, as I like to call them. Particles, there's a couple of them that are animated, like particles. You see they slowly sort of accumulate, and they're kind of camera relative, so even if you move the camera, they sort of stay into the camera shot. And Sakura is those nice little flower petals. They just slowly accumulate, which is kind of nice. You can't really freeze them, sadly. Yeah, best to try them and see what they do. Because on stream they might not show very well. Especially some of them are kind of very subtle. Depth of field. This, sadly, I didn't enable this feature. I think you have to go through... Actually, let me go and do it. Oh wow, look at that. That is a really nice sunset right now. It's all orange.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah. See? Fantastic. Alright, so I wanted to go into my system configuration, I believe. Graphics settings, or is it... No, I think that's where it is. Cinematic cutscene, enable depth of field. Here we go. Let's go back into GPOSE. Oops. So I'm gonna turn that off. This. And you can see now there's a kind of a blur in the objects on the screen that are very far away. Like the mountains right now. They're like blurry compared to the characters that are a bit sharper. Depending on where your camera is placed. But if I turn that off, you can see now everything is sharp again. Like the mountains are very sharp. Turn this back on, and then you can have a control of exactly where the focus is. Like right now, my character is a bit sharper. And this is kind of the amount of blur that's happening. And manual focus is gonna let me control exactly where the focus is. and it's kind of very sensitive. There we go, just moving it a little bit. Maybe I need to get a better angle right now. Yeah. Like that. So this is the depth of field effect, and it's the same one that the game uses for cinematic. You can just turn that off or on, but it needs to be on first in your game settings, your graphic settings, for that to actually have any effect. I'll just keep it off for now. Nyan, that's not how a flute is played.
Says you.
It's your special technique. It's the nose flute.
Exactly.
The nose toot. Oh boy. Alright. Limb darkening, I showed that a bit previously. So this is going to do what we sometimes refer to as a vignette, which it darkens the outside of the picture, and you can put a lot of it. It creates this sort of tunnel vision kind of effect, and that will also be affected by the zoom, like this. Actually, it's not affected by zoom. It's just gonna keep its value relative to the camera, wherever it is. And this is kind of the amount of it. So you can just do a very subtle amount or a bit more of an amount. This one here is gonna control the shape of the vignette. So this is more of an oval shape. If I go and do this, you can see the shape better. And this is more like a perfect circle shape. And these control the actual color of the vignette. So if I do something like this, now it's a bit more, you can have some kind of a, almost looking like a damage effect, like you're getting hit or something. It's all red, and oh no. You can pretty much just control all the values over here, whatever color you want. You can, if you want like a white vignette, you can just boost all of that all the way. And now it looks like kind of a dream scenario, or a very sort of foggy thing, which is a lot of fun.
It's really pretty, especially if you put like the sparkles in there.
Oh yeah, let's try that. Particles. That is very interesting. That is kind of dreamy.
I mean, for everyone that's getting all into the Starlight Festival thing coming up this week, there you go.
There's all sorts of ways to get inspired with the options in there. Sometimes you just try something randomly and you're like, oh, this is nice. It's very, very inspirational. Oops. That's very zoomed in. That's fun. Alright, I'm gonna reset all of these and reset the camera. Boink. Yeah, we're back. Alright. Do we have any questions so far?
Yes, please. If you have questions, feel free to ask us.
Yeah.
You live for this stuff.
We don't bite. I promise you, we don't bite.
We answer.
Yeah.
We answer to your questions. It's still, oh, the particles are still there.
As you say with a sword threatening the camera. I'm just saying. That's kind of suspect.
Give me your questions now.
Or feel the wrath of my blade.
Actually, I want to do something fun just for a second. Here we go. I'm gonna really quickly go in the emotes and do a... Which one is it again?
We have
Let's
our first question.
Oh, yes.
Kirby, please, said, can you tell me more about the artificial lighting?
Sure. We can go straight into that, actually. Here we are. So the lighting effects are on this tab over here, which is like a little lamp icon. And there's 3 types of lighting. Actually, you have up to 3 lights, and each of those 3 lights have 3 type of lighting. And by default, they're all set to type 3. And if I turn on, let's say, this light over here, you can see that I can then change the type over here to type 2, type 1, like so. And the type affects both the brightness and the reach of the light. So type 3 is gonna color a lot, is gonna light a lot of the scene. As you can see, if I zoom out, it affects a lot of the surfaces around the character, not just the character. And if I go to type 2, let's say, the effect is less like spread out and a bit less intense. And type 1, if I like turn it off or turn it on, if I turn it on and I'm really far away, type 1, you're probably not even gonna see it. You have to be really close for type 1 to be visible. As you can see, it's a bit of a smaller light, like so. And just for fun, I'm gonna start, like, let's say, putting some color in there. So this one's a bit more red. I'm gonna do like a more bluish one over here. And a bit more of a greenish color, like that. So let's say, I don't know, I'm gonna do like a type 2 above, or maybe a type 3, and you can see it affects a lot of this in the scenery, like that. And then for lighting 3, which is green, I'm gonna go maybe behind here. Do a type 1 and activate it over here. And you can see the sort of mix that you can do by combining lights together, which can be very interesting. And there's also a character lighting. This one can be very subtle depending on your environment. But what this will do, it will make your character a bit brighter or darker. If I reset all my lights, maybe we'll see this better. Yeah, you can see it like this is the minimum, this is the maximum. So you can play sort of in between there. And it mostly affects, well, I want to say it mostly affects the shadows, but it's not just the shadows that it affects. It also like affects like the sort of, there's a bit of an artificial backlight on characters, and you can see mostly like on the side of surfaces, really on the side of your character. There's a bit of a bright shininess, and this is where you're gonna see a lot of the lighting, the character lighting take effect in there. You can see like on the arm over here, there's a bit more of that shininess. And yeah, I really encourage you to play with that stuff. You've got up to 3 lights that you can put anywhere within the range of the camera. Whenever you turn them on, that's where the light is dropped. And if you want to change its position, you just have to turn it off. Move the camera where you want the light to be and turn it on again. And once it's turned on, or even before it's turned on, you can always come and change whether settings are available in here. Like that. They're a lot of fun to play with. You can do something that's very realistic, or you can do something that's really, really wild in terms of lighting. Maybe I'll try and do, like, if I look at the color of the clouds in the background, maybe I can try and mimic that same kind of color. Something like that. Which is kind of interesting. Maybe a bit intense. There we go. That's nice. Like you see this light here, the color that is showing in the character is kind of synced with the bright clouds in the background. I think that's very nice. And if I maybe want to do another spotlight over here. And maybe go with something bluish. Almost like the sky. Though it might be a bit less blue. Like that. It's a lot of tweaking, but you can achieve some really interesting results. Like this, now I got some lights on both sides and they're sort of creating contour like this on the side of the face. And I've chosen these two colors that are very similar to what the sky is, which is, I think, is a really interesting effect. Oh yeah! I am the sky!
Oh wait, we got another question from Marjorie.
Yay! What's up?
She said, how do you know how much red, blue, or green you need to make a certain color with?
Well, that is wow. Well, these 3 sliders over here, I don't know if you know a lot about color theory, but the way to achieve certain colors with lighting is a combination of these 3 primary color. So if your slider are of equal value, you're gonna have a white light like this. And as soon as one of your slider is of a greater value than the other sliders, you're gonna see that this is the light that is gonna appear. And if you want something that's yellow, then you can combine red and green. If you want something that's purple, you can combine red and blue, like that. So according to whatever ratio you're using, you can get some pretty interesting light. You can go with something that's very, very obvious, or something that is like more subtle, like tiny little, like it's almost, this is almost white, but the ratio gives it a bit more of a bluish value. And if I go with something like this, now it has a bit more of a warm light to it. Like this. I hope that answers the question. And once, you know, once I'm satisfied with all my lighting, what I like to do is to go down here and save my lights. I can save that either relative to the camera position. No, that's the camera, sorry. So you can save the lighting. Oops, I'm lost. Right, lighting, you can save the lighting from character position or camera position. So I'm gonna save it relative to character position, like this. So if I go back and really mess things up, and then end up with something that I really accidentally didn't want to, I can always go back to this tab over here, load, go to lighting settings and load. Now I'm back to what I had saved previously. And you can do the same thing with your camera. So if I want to say a very close up an Ian, go over here. Ooh, serious. Give that a little bit of a tilt.
Ooh.
This. Maybe something like that. And I'm happy with that. I'm just go and save that. Save.
Nyan looks like a villain, and I like this.
Yes. And once you, what's fun with that is once you've saved something that you're happy with, it lets you, you know, explore other angles, like without worrying too much of losing what you had previously. So if I want to say, okay, well, I messed it up, I can go back to load over here and load my camera settings, and poof, I'm back to what I had. And even if you leave GPOSE and you play in the game a little bit and you come back to GPOSE, as long as you don't quit the game, it's gonna, whatever you saved is gonna persist.
What I like about the picture right now is that Nyan's eyes is kind of like so great with the background of the sunset. It kind of like clashes in a good way, and I'm loving this right now.
Cool. Let's try a filter on that. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yes.
That looks really
Slay.
good.
Yes.
Maybe
Especially
go,
with the limb darkening, it looks really great.
yeah. Have some depth of field. Okay, maybe not this here, but like this.
Mm.
Maybe not put everything in there, but
See, these are great for close-ups.
Mm-hmm.
here we go. We got a nice screenshot.
Could be your wallpaper or something.
That's cool also. Yeah, sometimes just
Or, like,
moving the camera
something for
around
your
a bit.
character info. Yeah. Angles are your best friend with GPOSE. That's my fun fact of the day. Angles are your best friend.
Absolutely.
Oop, I've hidden the UI. I don't remember what is normally the keyboard key to hide the UI.
It's scroll lock to hide the UI.
Okay. So if you're using like a screenshot tool other than what the game, like the game's own screenshot feature, it's better to, yeah, hide the UI, take your screenshot, and bring it back.
Definitely looks like a villain from like a show. Vibe I'm getting.
Let's check other filters while we're here.
My
This is
favorites
interesting.
are the pastels, and the bright ones are usually the ones I go.
This is
Yes,
pastel.
this is actually vanilla. Yes. That's Marjorie. This is actually a vanilla.
Oh yeah.
This is completely mod free. Nothing extra added onto it. This is completely vanilla.
Oh, I see Shakora taking notes. I see that.
Right?
Get ready for her next screenshot.
You know, in honesty though, I always go through color filters, like no matter what picture I'm taking, because
Exactly.
sometimes, like I might be going for one kind of look, but just going through the other filters will allow me to play with. Like I was like, oh, this is different, and then I start playing with other factors of it that will take that same pictures, and then turn around and create a whole different environment that I wasn't even going for.
Like a colored limb darkening on top of a monochrome filter can sometimes have some really interesting effect.
Use a vanilla screenshot challenge. Let's go. You know? Never be afraid to. You never know. We might sit there in our Discord and actually issue that challenge out. We might even tweet. I was like, we might even tweet that challenge out.
Nice. Alright, I'm gonna reset this to normal. And just reset everything here. Maybe even all of that. Poof. And we're back to default. Alright. What next? We kind of skipped over this tab over here.
Which tab?
That's a... Is that what I think it is?
Thank you for the follow.
Yeah, thank you for the follow.
And we get to see Soraya's little chibi, which is great, by the way. I'm just saying.
Thank you.
It's so adorable.
I was a little confused because whenever I take a screenshot, I get this this sound. I was like, wait, I didn't take a screenshot. Somebody followed.
Yeah, so you know what? When I had the alerts and I was going through everything, I wanted to make sure that it kind of flowed with what we were doing. And yeah, you have no idea how many times I actually sat there and listened to like 50 million total sounds of cameras being clicked before I had settled on that one. But thank you, Thick Zelda. We really appreciate it. Thank you. You're officially a screenshot enthusiast.
Okay, next. It is the effect and frame settings.
I love frames. Frames are great.
Yep. Let's go to frames.
Oh, before we go to frames, we have a question. We have... I'm going to mess up your name. I apologize in advance. Snaster asked, can you talk about using lighting to help define contour? You touched on it earlier, but I forgot the exact words that were used.
Yeah, I can look at it a little bit. I think that this seriously, like the use of lighting is probably like a whole subject in itself. And we could spend
Fair,
like
yeah.
2 hours just talking just about like good lighting and controlling lighting and doing
Yeah.
things that you know you voluntarily want to achieve. But if it's just contour, like if you just want to go and have a contour, I say first thing is figure out what your camera angle is gonna be first. So if you know if you're gonna be shooting from this direction, you can just go and take, let's say, whichever of the lights you want. Let's say I want to go with lighting for contour lighting. Personally, I like to just take the light 3, give it a type 1. Maybe a little bit of color if I want to go with something a bit bluish. Reduce character lighting just to give more effect to the contour. And go behind, like in the opposite direction of where my camera was. Just go in that opposite direction and drop a light in here. And even just that is going to give some contour. And if you want to, you can go with a bit of an angle like this. And then you're going to see it already sort of creates a bit of contour around your character. And you got to be also careful because sometimes you might be lighting the background and it might not be something that you want to. So let's go on the opposite side over here. This. And this is a bit stark. So I might just reduce these 3 colors like that. And yeah, maybe just a white contour in this case might be interesting. A bit more character lighting since the contour is stark. Yeah, something like this. And maybe you can combine with 2 colors with something a bit more from the back over here and something on this side. I'm gonna go with another, oh, that's too much. Something here. Put that in there. And maybe drop that. To something very subtle. Just a bit more red like this. And this is really nice for portraits, especially. So you can just sort of zoom in like that. For fun, I'm gonna go and destroy everything and change the weather and time of day, see what that does. Hey, that's interesting, actually. You can see you have a bit of like natural light from the moon, I suppose, coming from somewhere up here. That's something to consider, whether when you're putting lights, you should consider where the natural lighting comes from. And then according to that and your camera angle, then you try to make some interesting contour. Like here the white light is kind of what's the word for it? It's working well with the natural lighting coming from that side. Maybe it's a bit bright. So I'm gonna drop it a little. Like this. It creates a really interesting effect over here on the skin tone. And then from the more like opposite to what the natural lighting is, especially in the shadows. The GPOSE spotlights are really good to put light inside the shadows of the character. So here, especially since I have a lamp in the background, it's nice to create this sort of contour in sync with what's in the background as well. So this is a bit orange, so I'm gonna try and put something that's a bit more orange, like this. That might be a bit more similar to what the fire in the background is. Yeah, I could go on like for hours on backlight, just on backlights and having control over your shadows and stuff like that. But I think that would be for another stream. We still have actually a lot to cover just in GPOSE. We're kind of halfway there actually. All right, so let's get back on track. We were talking about frames, right?
Yep.
So frames, there's a bunch of them, actually. I don't remember what is the star and the diamond thing. I think it depends on what kind of zoom you have. So here we have like a picture frame and a picture frame with the star. And I think, yeah.
One of them is unaffected by the camera, and the other one is affected by it.
Oh, see?
It says it like right underneath the frames, yeah.
Yeah, so if you choose a frame with the star, that means...
I think his star is affected and diamond is unaffected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the rotation is not gonna change anything, but the zoom is gonna zoom the frame as well, right? And if I go and choose a different one, which is the picture frame, but with the diamond, then going back to zoom, it's not gonna affect the frame itself. The frame, it's gonna keep its default value. I don't know if you can... I'm gonna experiment with something here. Oh no, it doesn't really stick. But there's a lot of them. This is like the sort of instant camera Kodak moment kind of thing. This is like the movie cinematic wide frame. There's a bunch of them. This is nice. Let me just go back here a little bit. I'm not gonna go all of them because we still have a lot to cover. But it's a lot of fun.
And definitely recommend playing with it because I didn't used to play with this at all. Like when I took screenshots, I just took the screenshot. That was it. And like I actually started playing with the frames and it will change it changes your screenshots dramatically. And something as simple as like I actually took one of my warrior light and it was basically her in her house. And I ended up doing the little Polaroid thing, and it actually came out looking like it was like a high school picture.
Nice.
It was so cute, but it's like it's fun to play with those different elements because you start off with one look or one concept in your head, and as soon as you start playing with those things, other ideas start popping up, or you start to be like, oh wait, I can do this, and then it changed the complete narrative of that particular picture.
Yeah, even those like picture frames that are like specifically for groups in this situation, they're kind of interesting. All right. Oh, we have another follower. Thank you for the follow.
Hey, Barry, thank you for the follow.
So much.
We appreciate it. You're officially a screenshot enthusiast.
No way.
Wow, too. FGCC, you're now a screenshot enthusiast as well. Thank you for the follow.
Thank you very much.
Yay.
All right. The other two interesting bits in the status effect or frame settings, of course, are status effect over here. So you have a choice. It's kind of limited, but let's say I go with deep freeze. First, you have to select it, in the drop down and then apply. Boink. And they might get affected by the battle effects over here. So now
Oh, that is so cool.
Nyan is frozen.
Oh no, no!
I've never played with this. Like, I'm learning some games.
You've never played with it? Oh my goodness!
No.
It's so good.
Last time I took a Frozen picture, I literally was sitting inside Circus Tower. And I deliberately got myself frozen so I could take a Frozen picture.
Wanna know the best thing to do with Frozen? Just literally go into Shiva's spot and then freeze yourself, and it just
Yeah.
it looks so good that way.
And sometimes the effect can just sort of apply a really interesting, just an interesting coloring to your character, depending on which one you choose. You might not even want like all the flashy stuff. Let's say I reset that. Go with sleep, which is kind of funny.
I love sleep.
Depending on the action, it might not be obvious. Like one of its effect,
I think if you're not moving, they do something.
Yeah, let's try rather with Death Row over here. Let's see. Oops, sorry, I'm confused in my buttons. I'm very glad that there's a confirm now. Yep. Let's try Paretic on him. But he has to be, yeah. Wait. There we go. I'm on fire.
This girl's on fire.
I'm in danger.
I had to do it. It was a moment.
Yeah, fire and lightning. You can make some really interesting effects with this.
You could, yeah.
Wait, let me
Oh god, the puns
let me put the
in
ice.
chat are crazy.
Let me put the ice back on here. And then Paretic?
Oh. I see.
Oh no. That's strange.
Does it only do one?
Yeah, I think it only works on.
Oh no, wait. I used the wrong button, and that's actually a good distinction. See, this button here, this one will affect one character, and this one will affect all characters.
Oh, okay.
Oops. And then if I go to him and say deep freeze and use this guy. Oh wait, I need to animate him. There we go. There. Fire, ice, and lightning. If you're really lucky and you can time the background lightning, you can probably catch something interesting.
Or, you know, hit the screenshot button like 50 different times.
Like, this is a pro tip, okay? Lightning strikes every 4 seconds.
Really?
Really. Like, you can count, like, 1, 2, wait. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, maybe it's 3 seconds. That's weird. I was sure it was 4.
Or maybe in the game it's like 4 seconds and like in real life it's like 3. Maybe? I don't know.
No, I used to count them like 4 seconds.
Interesting.
That's interesting. I'm sure that lightning somehow is speedier right now.
Is it
Okay,
'cause you're in GPOSE?
well, my pro tip has
Could've-
been negated.
Debunked.
Debunked.
There you go. He
Failed.
says
It's 4 on mine.
they say it depends, but the lightning cycles has of 2 to 4 seconds.
Oh.
So there is a pattern. Yeah, there is a pattern, and I think it depends on where it is that the pattern does. Because I know, like, oh, we have another follow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the third button over here
for the
is
follow.
thank you for the follow.
Also, we got another pro tip in chat.
Yep.
Lightning strikes in a lightning storm. Just letting y'all know. Just saying. Thank you for that pro tip. We appreciate it.
It's pretty cool. I've captured some really nice shots. But I usually just spam the button hoping to
Same.
catch the lightning.
Same.
And then I go back through my screenshots and pick whichever one had the nicest lightning strike.
People die when they are killed.
Let's try another one. Seduced.
But it is. I do the same thing. Like, I'll sit there and I'll spam and I'll be like, no! I have to wait till
That
the
was
next
not
lightning
the right
strike.
moment.
Right? You're like, not the right moment of this. Like, no! You messed me up!
And then my computer is yelling at me like, why do I have 100 pictures of the same thing? Don't worry about it.
Fun fact, I have friends who will tell you that their PlayStation messages are flooded with like hundreds of copies of the exact same pictures, and it's just like, no, there's subtle differences. Don't worry about it. We'll just try to get the right one. So I have designated people that I just literally flood. I'm sorry, people. I love y'all. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't send you the pictures of
Fair.
many different things that I do.
You have a great point.
Oh, look at the rock one. I love that one.
Yeah, it's the petrified. It freezes your character same way as the freeze, but it gives you a kind of
that is very true.
gives you a kind of a really sort of a dark, shadowy look, which can be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you want to make something spooky looking, combine that with some of the lights. You could try and do something interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, working with the status effect can be an interesting challenge. Let's try this option over here that's called wet attire. Gonna reset this. Oops, my camera angle is a bit weird right now. I'm gonna turn off battle effect.
I like that they added that. I probably didn't realize it. The whole battle effects, because I always have such hard of an issue when I have my battle effects on, and I'm like, but I don't want to get out of GPOSE. I need a button for this.
Yeah, and one of the really great thing about GPOSE is that it constantly get updated. Well, not so constantly, but like if we look at what GPOSE was a couple of years ago, when they first released it, and you look at all the new options we have now, you can see that the developers have really been listening to like the users in terms of what the things that annoyed them and what they thought would make like a better user-friendly experience in the tool. They added a lot of features that people had been demanding for so long, and they just went and did it. And that's great. A lot of games
it's like a mini Photoshop, basically.
Yeah. A lot of the games out there.
Mini Photoshop now.
A lot of games out there, they have a photo mode, and the game gets released, and they never modify it. They never make it better afterwards. And sometimes maybe a patch or two will fix some things or add some things. But this is one of the.
They're not even made for that though either. Like, I know I play other games, and like for instance, there are some amazing shots that I could love to take in games like Destiny, because those have
True.
really good features, but their quote unquote photo or GPOS is not as good.
It's
So
like limited.
it's very limited. So you have to kind of trick the game into doing what you really want it
Mhm.
to do to take a specific kind of photo. So and it's kind of bad though, because it's like it does like great pictures, but like that's the one thing that I love about 14 about this is that they literally took G posing and made it like its own game in and of
Hmm.
itself. So
Honestly.
all of these things are literally, even if you're not like even on console, you don't need Photoshop. You honestly don't. This is it built into the game. It's 40. It's less $45. It's literally a 12-month like a monthly subscription to go play with Final Fantasy 14's Adobe.
Like honestly, I only sub nowadays to GPOs. Like I spend $15 just to GPOs. Honestly.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Right? Right,
True.
Master? Is I do the same thing. It's like you wish G pose in it. I feel like 14 G poses spoils you on other games. The minute you start playing around with this, it's so many things you wish, and
It
you go to another game and you see a photo option, and you're like,
exactly.
oh my god, I wish I could do this.
It
Exactly
has
right.
it has a lot of options, especially for like applying all the things that you have in games in terms of like emotes and how to control them. You know, all the things that you have access in game. It makes that access a lot easier inside the tool itself. It might be a bit limited on some like certain color features or stuff like that, but in terms of
Yeah.
accessing all the things like the wetness of, you know, looking like the wetness effect, that's something that you have in the game when you walk in water or you go swimming or stuff like that, and they just go and give you a
Yep.
button to turn it on in the menu even if you're not in water. And there's a lot of these options in there, and there's gonna be more of it. Like, the game is
Oh
very
yeah, as the
popular
game
and
keeps
the
going,
developers
it's gonna
support it.
always keep it going. Yep. It's gonna get more and more and more, and that's gonna make like G posing so different
Hmm.
on so many levels.
I wouldn't be surprised,
Want to
like,
know what my
if...
favorite thing?
Yep.
Oh, I was just gonna say, well, you want to know my favorite thing about GPOs that they recently added that I know Githro is gonna talk about really soon? Stickers.
Oh yeah, I have yet to play with that, and I
The
cannot
stickers
wait to
are
play with it.
so cute.
Really? Oh, this
They're
thing, the
so
big yellow...
adorable.
I have
Yes.
never touched it.
The
This would
big
be it.
shiny, yes.
This big tiny button right there.
I've never touched
Yeah,
this
so
button.
basically, I think they added it. I want to say, beginning of 5.3's patch. Basically, it's just like any other tool that we have in here, where you have like your frames and stuff like that. But you just could put little stickers like the fat cat, chocobo, cat flower. They have even words on there like when you go into fates like fate join or like fate completed. They have a whole bunch of different like tools that you can use to even more enhance your photos.
Should I click on it?
You should.
I'm afraid to click
They're
on it.
cute.
I might never come
No,
back from this.
click it.
I'm
Okay, fair. You're right.
what if we did like a whole stream just on sticker mode? Would that be a thing?
I feel like what else do you want to cover in this one?
Well, there's
'Cause I
still a
don't think
bunch
you
of
promoted that
things.
much.
There's still a bunch of things, so I think we should maybe come back to it a bit later.
I think we got people in the chat wants to click the button.
Uh-oh.
They want the shiny button. Don't be a clicking.
Oh my
Oh
goodness, the
boy.
dad joke on a Sunday. TR
Click
boosted.
it. Sticker mode. Ooh, yes. I'm gonna rub it.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, let's not go there. I'm gonna stop right now and click it.
Yeah.
Wow. Ooh. Text. Edit.
See?
There are things in here. I like the crab. Do I just...
But no, yeah, I think
So
we should
intuitive.
definitely. But I think we should definitely leave this for another day, though.
Here we go.
Because now that I'm looking at it a little bit more, there's a lot of stuff that you could do with.
Yeah, oh yeah. Minions.
The
Oh
crab with his
my.
face.
Decorations. There's oh
Yeah.
boy. You can
Yeah, you
what?
like you
You
said,
can
you can get
scale
lost in
it.
here. You definitely can get lost in here.
Yeah, this is a rabbit hole. I
It's not
rabbit
a
hole
pun intended,
rabbit hole
sir,
confirmed.
because I'm a rabbit.
We've discovered your home. your
It's
sticker
funny how
home.
The rabbit was the one who. It's funny how the rabbit was the one who brought up the stickers. I'm just saying, it's real funny.
Oh yeah, they really stick on your camera. How do I reset this? Can I?
I didn't think this far ahead. I'm
Snorts.
sorry. Abort.
Oh, here we go. Right click. Delete.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Good thing I had a mouse. Because I don't know how
But
on
nice
console.
thing is, yeah, I wouldn't know how to do this.
Okay, this
But
feels
nice
like
thing
a whole
about
new
this is-
stream.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now at this point, with that though, that means that now you can enhance your photos even more with the stickers. And like I already see some stickers that you like. Okay, I can really do
I
some
just-
things to the photo.
I just imagined this situation like on CSI Miami or something, where they go like, okay, we got them, enhance, and the guy on the computer just start adding stickers on the camera footage.
I mean, I'll probably be the one who's adding the stickers on the camera. Just like, look how Cadizo. Look.
What's happening?
Chaos.
Very much so.
All right,
Okay.
so wet attire makes your character shiny looking, as if they were just out of water. And we've covered frames, and we've covered status effect. Let's see, what do we have next? This here. Motion settings. And motion settings, I'm just gonna make my characters moving like this. You can control interesting things, like you can make your characters walk forward. Cool. I can choose the kind of like movement animation I have on them, like if I want to slowly strafe, it's gonna look like that. And
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
you can go backwards. And then you can face the camera. Right? And one option that is very new. What's this? I don't know what that is. But anyway, one feature that is very new and that I like. And we might see it over here. If I get really close. Zoom in. Enhance. Here we go. And I'm gonna stop them from walking, because stop. I say it. Stop. Okay.
Yeah.
And actually might not show very well on him, because it's subtle. It's the track camera for the eyes. So you turn this on, and suddenly, I don't know if you notice, but the eyes have moved.
Ooh.
Right?
Moving.
So if I go over here, I really have a bad animation right
They
now.
move.
Hold on. I'm gonna change this. Here, at ease. Is he not doing it? There we go. That's perfect. So now I've turned it off, and you can see the eyes are sticking to one direction. And if I go over here, I turn this on again, and you can see now the eyes are following the camera, regardless of where the head is looking. So if I want to say, control the head to look this way, you can see the eyes are still tracking the camera. Like this. And as soon as I turn it off, the eyes will stick like this. And that's very interesting. And it can do it like so. And combining that with the head motion can be very interesting.
Can give you some very dramatic shots that way.
This is a little detail, but you can do some very interesting emotional effect with that. Like disdain almost. Like this is giving you a bit of the stink eye.
Yeah. Or something literally just happened in like a role play scenario that he's just like, I don't know how to feel about this. Yeah, it's a very intense gaze, yeah.
That's enough. You're noisy.
That too. That could be it.
And so then we have also another interesting feature, which is the lip movement. You can use to make movement in the mouth, or on the mouth, or of the mouth. And there's 3 types. This one is just like normal talking. This one is a bit different. Seems like he's more talking a bit louder or something. And type 3 is going to be even more intense. There's more head movement in there. And if you can frame it nicely and freeze it, you can also use the combination of head movement, eye movement, and mouth movement to do some really interesting emotional looking effect. It might be a bit hard to control because you have to sort of freeze it at the right moment. But combine that with an interesting camera angle, you can do something very interesting. I've been using it a lot recently. Even just to show a little bit of slightly parted, like open lips, can have an interesting effect, especially for portraits. Let's try type 1 again. It's fun to play with. It's just a lot of tweaking, trying to get the right thing. And then you can just
which is good though.
Reset that. Boom. And then it's turned off. Then one of the most useful thing in here, I think I'm hearing myself from someone else's microphone.
You might be, I don't know.
Okay. So the most useful thing really in all of this is the open emote list. And that is going to allow you on your character to choose the emote right from the GPOSE menu. And that used to be that you had to go out of GPOSE, do an emote, and come back into GPOSE to see it, but now you can actually do that straight into without having to quit GPOSE, which is really useful. Come on, do the facepalm.
Which is a very nice enhancement to
Yeah.
GPOSE, because that used to be so annoying to have to leave GPOSE to do a different emote and then to go back into it. So adding this literally saves so much time, especially when you're trying to find the correct emote you want to do. And in the event, like maybe you forgot to click it and then you go into GPOSE and you're back in the same one that you did previously. So this is actually a very lovely enhancement, at least for me.
That's cool. So as you can see, you can choose an emote, and once you've chosen your emote, you can choose an expression, and your expression is gonna apply on top of the emote. And so you can create some really interesting combination. With that and the eye tracking and the lip movement, you can do some really cool things. Let me add some lip movement on that. Oops. The timing might be a bit difficult, but
I hope you're taking screenshots of this gift, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Nice. Reset. Oops. All right. And you can just disable that and it'll return to the one you originally had when you started GPOSE. This will cancel whatever emote. Though the emote list or the ability to like apply an emote to your character is limited to your character and not like other player character in your parties. Like I wouldn't be able to put emotes on Nyan. Oops. It just refuses to do it. For this case, you still have to exit GPOSE, tell your buddy, hey, can you please do this emote, please? And then they do the emote, they do the expression, and you come back into GPOSE and you'll have that. So, it's still nice to have some social interaction when you're GPOSing. Just to order around your buddies.
Yep. But I'm pretty sure it'll probably be an enhancement for later to be able to control the emote on anyone that's in the frame with you.
What would be nice, I think, is that when you choose an emote for like a friend or someone in your party, they get prompted if they can accept to apply the emote on their character, because at least then it's their choice.
Yep.
And then it applies back into your GPOSE. This would be, I think, something that is that would be quite nice. Because maybe they don't want you to put that emote on their character. You can, there's certain what's the feature again where you can play with AI characters? I think it's with your free company. there's some maps, there's some dungeons you can play with your squadron, right? So if you play a map or a dungeon with a squadron, you can apply emotes on your squadron characters.
Oh.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
That I did
Okay.
not know.
I did not know that because I don't go back into my squadron.
Yeah.
They're maxed out for me, so I'm like, I'm good. You all are on vacation right now.
I've been using my squadron for bikini shots.
Oh,
Dress them all in bikinis and then pose them however I want them, and then take pictures of that.
gotcha.
See? You don't have to bother your friends with having them to put bikinis and take bikini shots with them. I think we've looked at this a little bit, which is the display setting, and this is fairly new as well, which allows you to control the visibility of characters in the environment. So, for example, over here, I got some NPCs in the background. Maybe I don't want to have these NPCs there, because I want to take this picture here of Nyan, and I don't want to see them, so I can just go to NPC, turn that off. Oh wait, no, it's... which one is it? Because these are NPCs.
Non-controlled.
Oh, non-control.
Non-controlled.
There we go. And same with... You had a minion earlier, right? Where is it?
Oh yeah. I went ahead and dismissed the snowman. so
Oh,
it
okay.
comes up with me.
But I'm gonna exit GPOSE for a bit. I'm gonna call a minion. Let's say the cushion. Oops, I accidentally made it go away. Because I pressed on him multiple times to aggressively summon it.
He's like, get here!
Get here! Alright. And now I'm gonna go back into GPOSE. And I can go and... Wait, I can't select this guy? Okay, maybe not. Let's try another one.
I think because it's not one that moves.
Really?
That would be my guess. I didn't know you couldn't.
Well
make
then,
us-
let's go with... If you have a wind-up sun or a wind-up moon, these can be very useful. Right? Because they stay where you put them. Right, so now I can select this guy, which means my camera is going to rotate around him. And this can allow me to get some interesting camera angles that I would not normally be able to get if the camera was strictly on my character.
Oh, there's some pro tips right here.
Yeah. Using minions as
Right
an
down.
alternate pivot, and you can even go like in first person on them, like this. But if you don't want to see it, wait, hold on. Let me get a better kind of shot here. Yeah, normally I would not be able to do that kind of close-up. You can see I can even like kind of clip through the arm over here. But that's an interesting kind of thing, so I can really zoom into something like this. And then say...
I mean, this is really good though, because I've never knew how to actually take like the G pose with just the minion. So this is
Hmm.
actually really cool to look at.
Wait, maybe... Oh, there we go. And then just... That's weird. Why can't I... Player minion? Okay, self only. There we go. See? It's like it's not really there because I hit it, but I can still control it. Though if you move away from it, now you can't go back onto it because it's hidden. So you gotta be careful about that. If I go back to this here and say, is it pet or minion? Player's minion, okay. Then I can move back onto it. But I have to hide it again. Oops. Yeah, so you can see you can use them to do some interesting things. One minion that is also very interesting, and this one is cool because it has its own little extra spotlight. You can use it as a fourth source of light, other than the GPOSE light. But one that I also like, let's say minion. It's, where is it? Why is it not in my favorites? There we go. This little guy. He's very, very low. So you can see I can actually get a panty shot. Which is completely accidental right now. But you can get some really low angle cameras with this particular minion since he's very close to the ground.
See, another use of using your minions.
Specifically for panty shots. There's no other use for this. It was made by the developers with this in mind.
You know they're gonna end up clipping this, right?
No.
Oh, I am.
This is not against TOS. It is part of the game's normal features.
You know this is gonna turn into a clip.
I'm turning this into a clip. Definitely. The more
Oh my goodness.
Anyways.
Oh my god, the rainbow.
What else have we not covered? I think we went around pretty much everything. Even the save and load system for the cameras and lighting. Right. Oh, maybe one interesting thing would be to put a light in front of my character like this. Then I go to save light setting and make the lighting camera relative. And I'm gonna save that lighting setting. If I move the camera over here, I can go and load that lighting. Oh, wait. Is it not working? That's strange. I thought I would save camera relative. Well, I'm disappointed. Maybe this needs to be scienced further. Alright, well, is there any more questions that have been asked? if you have questions about GPOSE, any of its features, things that you're curious about doing with the tools in there, whatever comes to mind, please ask. And we
Any
are-
like further details of things that were already covered, things like that as well.
Or even questions about Eorzea Photography.
That too.
We're here to answer them.
It's a good time. Good time to do
We're
that.
here for all questions, comments, and concerns.
We are the HR department. As emoji.
Lord help us.
Let's try something. Do I have
well,
do I have the bro fist?
a question.
Yes.
Marjorie asks, how do we combat the issues that happen in Limsa Minsa, for example, with GPOSE? Well, for example, not being able to unpause a friend.
Well, normally if your friend is in your party, or even if they're not in your party, you should be able to like control them in GPOSE. Unless I'm wrong.
Like in places with a lot of people. Yeah, she's asking if like you have okay, so like you're in Limsa Minsa and you know that's like the hangout spot on every server. And it's like 50 plus people in there. I think what she's asking is if like they are on your friends list, how are you able to pause specifically them in when it's like a group setting like that, I guess is what I'm trying to get from that.
Okay. Well, let's say you're in a party, like a full party, and there's like 8 people with you, and you're in Limsa, and then everybody else is there in the background. You would only be able to target. The targeting would be limited to the people who are either your friends or in your party. You wouldn't be able to target like any random other like players that are in the area. So in GPOSE, the targeting is limited to whoever you've grouped with, whether it is through your friend list or through your party list.
We have another question.
Yes.
Can you GPOSE with mounts or get companion mount pictures?
Indeed you can. Let's try it. Science.
Science? Oh, wait.
Oh, that's a big mount. Holy heck.
Okay, Nyan, keep your mount. I'm gonna dismount. And I'm going to call forth with my complicated button settings. My chocobo over here.
Oh, small
Hello,
bow.
buddy. Okay.
Voice object to the name of
And
I'm judging the name too.
maybe dismiss this boy.
This is a small boy.
And try to have my chocobo over here, buddy. Come on. Alright, Nyan, get next to my chocobo. Because he doesn't want to listen.
He's trying his best, man.
Okay, cool.
You can only do so much with that.
I'm gonna try not to move away so he doesn't move. And get back in there. Right, so now you can see I can select my buddy. Since he's on a mount right now, I cannot select his mount and his character separately. Wait, forget this. You can. I feel like this is new. That's interesting. And then you can select your chocobo because they're kind of like a party member, really. So you can see like that. What you might not be able to do, and maybe it's gonna not be the case again, just to prove me wrong, is hide them separately. let's go to companion, pets, and minion only. PC only. Yeah. So the mount that while it's mounted, it counts as a player character. So you wouldn't be able to hide the mount and have Nyan just floating in the air, right? So they're in terms of visibility, they're kind of connected. But yeah, mounts, companions, pets, all of the characters that follow you around or are part of your party, you can just select them individually inside of GPOSE.
And to further add on to this, with the recent patch that happened, this probably more than likely, since we are close to 9 o'clock now, this is probably going to be covered in another video, but with the recent patch that just dropped, they introduced a mode called Explorer mode, where you can go through all the basically all of the Shadowbringers dungeons with your companions, your light party companions, and while you're in the dungeons themselves, you can also bring in your mount to take pictures with, and use limit breaks and stuff like that as well. Just wanted to put that out there if people didn't know.
Interesting. You can, with the walk animations, you can apply that as well to your mounts.
Okay, so we have a question not about photos right now, but we have from Kirby. How big is that choker, bro?
That is a big. That's a big boy.
Large.
It's
That's a chunky boy.
It's enough to feed a small.
He's a big
food.
oof.
Listen, how often do y'all stream? Well, good question, Kirby.
Yeah.
So right now our schedule is set tentatively to be streaming at least once a week for about 2 hours, 2 or so hours, depending on everyone's schedule and availability. But we are scheduled to do it at least once a week. This month is a little bit of a weirder month just because Christmas is next week. And of course, we always want to make sure that our community and our staff members are not going to be overtaxed, especially with everyone having family over for the holidays and being, maybe traveling or might having to work or things like that. So we don't want to necessarily overtax anyone. So next week we actually won't be streaming. Because the week after that is New Year's week, we also don't want to do that either. So we kind of want to take the next 2 weeks to let everybody kind of enjoy the holiday periods because, back-to-back holidays with family and friends. But we intend to pick this back up again in January. So probably January 3rd will be the next time that we'll stream. But the intention of the schedule is that we will be trying to do once a week streams. And then as we pick up more and be able to do a little bit more, we'll start introducing 2 days out the week streams. But for now, we're only doing once a week.
And that once a week will probably more than likely fall on the Sunday.
Yep, it will always probably fall on the Sunday. Will it be all photo stuff, FF stuff, or other things? A mix, all of the above.
So, I came at this position specifically to show that you can target NPCs as well. Yeah, you can do portraits of NPCs, which are really nice. If you're close to an NPC, and that's kind of generally the rule that I saw, if an NPC is turning towards you, like with their head tracking, as you can see over here, it's usually an NPC that you can use to target in GPOSE. See? And you can also control where they're looking. That's a cute character, by the way.
Kirby
It's-
wants to see us die at raid.
Wants to see us what?
Die like when we do like raids and stuff.
Well, if you're doing raids, of course you're gonna die.
No, no, that's not always true.
I mean, I have a blue mage. I can just die now.
Okay, no, none of that. We want you living, okay?
That's interesting.
Wait.
There we go. NPC portraits. They're quite nice.
I actually think that is nice to see that you can actually take the pictures with the NPCs too.
If you're shy about practicing with other people,
Get people that you're comfortable with, or NPCs.
exactly. Here I'm gonna try a bit of a orange and darkening.
Kirby brings up a good point though, because some of the raid areas are great for GPOSes. Like, especially like current tier. They're really great.
But yeah, Kirby, to kind of expand on that a little bit, we actually do stream content. So we actually did a charity stream for Extra Life where we did their game day. So we actually streamed stuff like Minecraft, the scary ghost game that I never participate in.
She shall not name.
I'm with Ryan on that. I don't participate in that.
So, and because we have varied staff, you will have streams, and in all honesty, those will probably be the days that we do, like maybe on like a Wednesday night. You might see someone else from the like Twitch host, or even someone else in the Eorzea Photography who will actually sit there and stream a gameplay through them playing a game. Like we have people that play The Sims. We have people that do Genshin Impact. We have a lot of people that do Destiny. We have a lot of community members and staff that play a plethora of games. And we also want to show y'all that we're not just G-posing, though that's our main focus of the streams. But we also want to do stuff with the community as well.
I thought we were just G-poses. What? I was lied to. It's not a part of my contract.
No, we actually talked about it, and we do actually want to play with, like, play games at the community, because we also want to connect with the community too. And you never know, we could do screenshotting in other games as well, because GPOSE is not just for Final Fantasy 14; it's everywhere. But we'd also want to have time where we just kind of want to kick back and relax and have fun with you guys and talk to you while we're just out there just playing around like everyone else. Because again, we don't always just G-pose. We like to go explore.
G-pose is love. G-pose is life. I don't know about that, y'all.
Yeah, Githo does that. I'm dangerous. I'll snapshots everywhere. But but we also want you guys to we also want to kick back and relax with you guys too and have fun. So you never know. You might catch us doing other streams. We might even have things that are for the community as well, so that we can connect with you guys while we're streaming. We might even play with viewers, because we've done that too.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything.
We actually have.
This has
Unless, somebody else has questions and comments in chat that they want to cover.
Yep. Is there any other questions and comments that anyone in chat wants to go over, or need us to kind of explain a little bit more, or you want to talk about a little bit? Let us know.
If not, you could definitely hit us up in the Discord.
Most definitely. So for those that don't and you kind of want to get a little bit more, maybe a little bit more deeper explanation on a lot of things, we
Mhm.
also have a Discord community that we 100% will go into ourselves and we will talk to everyone. We have channels that's just for showing pictures. We have help channels. So if you have technical questions as far as how GPOSE works or, any other elements that you're trying to do as far as your screenshots, how someone achieved a certain kind of look, playing around with colors, lighting, how to clean up things in your photos, anything as far as that as taking screenshots. Um, you can all post them into our Discord. We technically on stream, we will not do modding anytime ever because it's against TOS for Final Fantasy 14. However, if you have modded questions, you can actually direct them to our staff and mentors. We have GPOS mentors. So we do have staff that do play with mods that they will kind of guide you in the right direction and be able to give you a lot more examples there. But here, we don't really cover that topic as much. We always will tell you to go to our Discord and ask any of the GPOS mentors that we have about those specific topics.
Yeah. Is this the end of our stream today?
I would say it is.
I mean, if this was GPO's 101 for Final Fantasy XIV. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it inspired you. It gave you ideas. If you are new to Final Fantasy, I'm sure you probably learned a lot, or you probably forgot a lot. On top of that, if you're experienced with Final Fantasy XIV, I hope maybe you picked up on some, little things here and there that you didn't know about, and it inspires you to try and do new things and expand from that. And yeah, this is what we're all about at Eorzea Photography, is just sort of getting together, sharing knowledge, tips and tricks, and encouraging each other, finding inspiration in what we all do together. And I hope you really enjoy this, and that
Yep, we do too. It will.
you'll come again, because
Most
we got
definitely.
more to plan.
So if that's going to be the case, we'll go to our ending scene. And then we will see you guys in the new year. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Thank you again for coming. Thank you for
Thank you for the follows.
followers. And have a good evening, everyone. Goodbye.
Stay
Bye.
safe, drink water, stay
safe.
hydrated,
Take care.
Bye.
And we're done.
And now let me go and throw a host.